Everybody is still arguing about who won the reps at Lions training camp, but I think they're missing the louder story, the one Dan Campbell never put in a headline. And then, rookie Jimmy Rolder leaves practice with a leg injury, and within a day, Detroit agrees to a deal with Devin White. That's not random. That's how this building actually operates. All that and more, coming up next on Motown Exile. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Motown Exile, the Detroit Lions, wherever exile takes you. My name's Ryan. Thanks for joining us here today. Who made the catch? Won the rep? Or got the first team snaps? Those things do matter, but the most revealing part of training camp is not always on the grass. Sometimes it's behind the microphone, and sometimes it's the move that the front office makes after a young linebacker walks off the field with an injury. Dan Campbell met with the media after practice yesterday. While everyone else hunted for sound bites, I heard 5 things about this team Campbell never said directly, and one roster move that proves the same point. Let's take a look. The first thing that I learned is that trust is the currency on this team. Listen to the words that Campbell chooses. He does not begin with speed. He does not begin with talent. He talks about trust. Derrick Barnes, discipline. Jameson Williams, attention to detail. Tyler Lacey, football intelligence. Christian Izine, the role the Lions envisioned for him before illness slowed his start to camp. Different players, same message. Talent gets you into training camp. Trust gets you onto the field in September. I've spent years leading schools and coaching leaders. Leaders tip their hands through the behaviors that they praise repeatedly. Campbell keeps rewarding players who make the people around them better, not simply the players who produce the best highlight clip. Trust is the currency on this team. The second thing that I noticed is that speed and trust are 2 different things. For 3 years, nearly every Jameson Williams conversation began with one word: speed. Not anymore. Now Campbell is talking about route definition, chemistry with Jared Goff, consistency, detail. Those are not track meet compliments. Those are complete NFL receiver compliments. That is growth. If JMO continues stacking days like this, Detroit's offense becomes much harder to defend. You can build a game plan to limit a one-dimensional deep threat. It's much harder to contain one who can threaten every level of the field and be exactly where his quarterback expects him to be. Campbell is describing a real route runner earning his quarterback's trust. The third thing I notice is that the defense is going to be the X factor. Everybody talks about Aiden Hutchinson, and rightfully so. But when Campbell lights up while discussing Alim McNeill, healthy, explosive, and beginning to look like himself again, that's not just filler. When the interior collapses the pocket, a quarterback cannot simply step forward to escape the edge rush. A healthy Alim does not improve just one position. He changes the geometry of the entire defense. Now, real talk. Alim left Friday's practice early to be evaluated for a neck injury, the same practice Jimmy Rolder left with a leg injury. So hold the parade until Campbell provides the next update. But the praise still matters. This staff knows what the defense can become when the interior is right. Right now there are thin margins and big stakes, and that's just training camp. My fourth takeaway on this is that pads will tell the truth. Every July, fans try to crown starters. Campbell pumped the brakes on the offensive line competition. His message was simple: wait until the pads come on. Football is not played in shorts. Some players win walkthroughs. Others reveal themselves when it gets physical. Campbell is not rushing to conclusions, and neither should we. That rule applies to every "he is starting week 1" post you saw this week. The July depth chart is written in pencil. The pads begin turning into ink. And that is just how it's going to be. My fifth takeaway is that things are pretty calm inside of Allen Park. So yes, Jahmyr Gibbs remains as a hold-in. And when I was a kid and Barry Sanders would not be at training camp, we called it a holdout. But now the players show up and they're just hanging around and watching practice, and they call it a hold-in. So everyone wants an update on how he's doing. But listen to Campbell's tone. Calm, measured, matter of fact. Inside Allen Park, this sounds like business, not chaos. Could that change if the situation drags on? Absolutely. But right now, the building is not treating this like a 5-alarm fire, and then Friday happens. Jimmy Rolder, a 4th-round linebacker out of Michigan, whom this staff just invested draft capital in, leaves practice with a leg injury and does not return. The injury is not being described as severe, but reports say Rolder will be out for a while. The Devin White agreement was reported as a direct response to losing that depth. So what does Detroit do? It does not hold a press conference to panic. It agrees to a one-year deal with White, a former second-team All-Pro, a Super Bowl champion with Tampa Bay, and a linebacker who recorded 174 tackles for the Las Vegas Raiders last season, third most in the NFL. Is White a flawless signing? No, absolutely not. The tackle total is impressive, but the film and grading also reveal limitations in coverage and missed opportunities. We should not pretend otherwise. But can this proven high-volume veteran enter a room with Jack Campbell, Derek Barnes, and Malcolm Rodriguez and provide snaps, experience, and competition while a rookie heals? Absolutely yes. That is the football decision. Past behavior is the best predictor of future behavior, and this organization does not freeze when depth takes a hit. It answers the phone. It adds an option. It keeps the standard in place. Campbell never had to say, "We're not rattled." The Devin White move said it for him. Now, here's my final take, and here's what I walked away with after seeing Campbell's press conference. Dan Campbell was not simply describing a roster. He was describing a culture, trust, discipline, communication, preparation, football intelligence. Those qualities win jobs in Detroit, not hype, not one great practice, and not the loudest headline. The Rolder to White turnaround is that same culture expressed through a transaction. Protect the room. Keep competing. Do not let one injury rewrite the standard. Before teams become champions, they become consistent. Consistency is what Campbell keeps talking about, and what this front office just demonstrated again. So what do you think? Is Devin White a smart depth addition, or are you waiting for Campbell's next injury update? Drop your answer in the comments below. I do read them, and if you like this reading between the lines approach, smash that like button, click subscribe. So on that note, we're going to say so long for now. I want to thank you for watching Motown Exile, the Detroit Lions, wherever Exile takes you. We'll see you next time on the next one here on Motown Exile.